I will be the first to admit I never thought Bam Adebayo would be the one to go for 83 points, surpassing Kobe for the most points in an NBA game. Never would have imagined it. Never would have imagined Bam Adebayo. I mean, nothing against Bam. He's an all-star. But I never thought it would be him. But if you didn't know, now you know. Yes, Miami Heat forward, big man center. NBA so positionless now, who knows what he is. But bottom line, Miami Heat all-star, Bam Adebayo, did go for 83 points in a win against the Wizards. And it's the second most in NBA history. Something I had a feeling might happen one day. I just had the wrong person in mind.
Hey, what up, Buff said? So that Buff on sports. Hey, appreciate it.
Little people, big people, all people. Welcome to Buffed Up Sports. I want to thank God for another opportunity to talk sports, and I want to thank you, the listener, for tuning in to me talking sports. Make sure you go to buffedupsports.com for links to my social media platforms, ways to donate to the show, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss the newest content. That all being said, hope you enjoy. So y'all, this is how, of course everybody got their story to how it went down. I was watching the Pistons, honestly. I didn't watch the full game. I was watching the Pistons. I was getting alerts on my phone saying, like, Bam's going off, but I didn't actually start watching the game until the fourth quarter. But no, I'm watching the Pistons. And for me, you see what I got on now. So for me to turn off the Pistons mid-game, thank God they were up 30. Otherwise, I would have probably missed Bam's performance. But the Pistons were up 30. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. I think this is a good time to go see what Bam's about to do. See if he's going to, reach greatness tonight. So I did that, right? I'm so glad I did. Because I didn't think it was going to happen. I'm like, he might not get it. But I'm glad he did. I do think people had a feeling Kobe's 81 would be beat one day. In recent years, more and more players have started reaching that 70 mark, which was almost unheard of at one point. So the fact more and more players are starting to hit 70, it's like that 80 is going to get touched at some point. I just don't think anybody thought it was Bam. Again, no shade to Bam. He's an all-star. He's been the franchise player of the Heat for the last few years now, outside of D. Wade and in the Jimmy Butler days. Bam is the one holding down the Heat franchise these last few years. So no shade against Bam. It's just, it didn't seem like it was going to be him. But he did it. And I can't even hate. History now goes Kobe, Bam, then Wilt.
How does it feel to hear your name with Wilt, Bam, Kobe?
Obviously, it's top 3 performances of all time.
So, yeah, those guys are the 3 guys to ever score 80 points in a single NBA game. For many years, it was just Wilt. Then for the last 20, it was just Kobe and Wilt. Now it's Kobe, Bam, then Wilt. It's crazy. The question has been, what was the more impressive 80-point game? We're not going to talk about Wilt because he got the ultimate, 100-point game. So we got to compare Kobe and Bam, being a 2-point difference. So first, Kobe. Kobe did play 42 minutes in his 81-point outing. That consisted of 28 for 46 from the field, 7 for 13 from 3, 18 for 20 from free throws. Kobe was known for having 55 points in the second half alone. The Lakers were down a good portion of his game too, something to keep in mind. It was a 3-point game when he checked in with 9 minutes left, and then the Lakers went on to win 122-104. So threw in some extra context there. Now let's look at Bam's 83-point game. Bam also played 42 minutes for when he went for 83. Difference is he went 20 for 43 from the field. He went 7 from 22 from 3. He went a whopping 36 for 43 from free throws, which actually broke the NBA single game record as well for the most free throws made and the most free throws attempted in a single game. One key thing for Bam that stood out was that he did have 31 points at the end of the first quarter. Um, and the difference with Bam is they could have easily subbed him out in the fourth quarter, but they left him in. And the Heat went on to win 150-129. So again, the question is, what's the more impressive one? I'm honestly mad at myself for asking this question because I'm almost coming off as a hater because 83 is 83. You got to respect it. It just happened. Witness greatness, right? But you got to compare the two. It's almost human nature to do it. That being said, if I'm comparing Kobe's 81 to Bam's 83, I am taking Kobe. And that's no legendary Kobe, legacy, RIP Kobe bias involved. I promise you it's not that. It's just I've watched both games. That being said, I've watched Kobe's 81-point game. Kobe was in there getting actual buckets, like his game was actually tight. I know it finished kind of like, a big gap, if you will, but that was, again, we got to keep in mind, I just said it. It was a 3-point game when Kobe checked in with 9 minutes left. Bam, majority of the fourth quarter, you knew the Heat was going to win. It was already a win for them, especially the longer and longer the game prolonged. So I do got to say Kobe's is more impressive. But Bam had 83. Like, I'm not going to hate on that.
Hey, it's your girl, Caressa the Glow Shields, and I'm here with Buffed Up Sports.
As I said earlier, I only caught the fourth quarter of the game from Bam. But from what I did notice is that fourth quarter was the most craziest fourth quarter you will ever watch in history. And I say that because you ever been at the park playing 21 with the boys, and once somebody got 20, they just hacking them. That's kind of what the Wizards was doing with Bam. And so I don't like the fact that people saying they kind of gave Bam the 80-point game, because I don't think they necessarily gave it to him. Were there some things in there that definitely influenced it? Absolutely. For one, I said he could have been taken out any minute. When Kobe had his 60 points in 3 quarters against the Mavericks, almost 20 years ago, they subbed him out the whole fourth quarter. Everybody said then that's probably a game he could have really, broke a record, but there was no need to keep him in the fourth. Bam, pretty much the same thing. No need to keep him in, but they did. So Spoelstra, I got to give it to Eric Spoelstra, though, because anytime you do have a player that close to history, I'm a fan of let him go get it. So there was many times in the game where they thought they were going to take Bam out, and I'm like, nah, you can't. Like, you got to, if he's that close, let him at least go get it. I don't care how he gets it. So that's the funny thing. Of course, the Heat, they're force-feeding him at this point. Could you say some of the fouls were, a little soft on the ref side from calling it? Absolutely. Was the refs definitely probably in on it to help him out? I do think they wanted to see it at some point. Again, the Heat were force-feeding. The Heat were fouling on purpose just to make sure Bam had another chance to get the ball back. The Heat missed free throws on purpose so Bam could have a chance to, get a tip in. So some quote-unquote unethical basketball on the Heat's end, but we got to look at the Wizards too. If you couldn't stop them the first 3 quarters, why you want to wait to the fourth quarter to start triple teaming them? And let's be honest, I said, when you at the park, you got 20 and you trying to get 21, everybody hacking you. The Wizards were hacking Bam. We got to call it, we got to call a spade a spade. We got to keep it fair. The Wizards were hacking Bam. All right? So I can't go in there saying, they was hacking him.
Yo, this your boy Superbad himself. You know who I'm with. I'm with Buffed Up Sports.
Yes, sir. I don't like the fact that people are hating, though, on this game because it's NBA history. As I said, when I was watching the Pistons, I'm checking the alerts. I'm like, yo, Bam got 60. What did he have at the end of the third? I think he had 67, 14 points away from tying Kobe. I'm about to turn this on and see if it's about to happen. Like, I can't say how many times I turned the Pistons off to watch a whole nother game. But this was one of those moments where I'm like, I gotta see this. So I can't hate on Bam for going for the record because I was 4 when Kobe did get 81. I don't remember that game. I remember Bam though. And then if we being a conspiracy theorist, nobody has seen footage of Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. Like, we are reliant on stat sheets to confirm if he had 100. So as far as film goes, Kobe had the most points in NBA history up until Bam Adebayo got 83 against the Wizards. So if you're one of those conspiracy theorists, Bam has the most points in NBA history, whether you like it or not. If you want to go off technically, then it's still Wilt. Wilt's still top dog, but as far as digital media goes, Bam has the record. Another thing I don't like, though, is that Kobe was all about moving the game forward. We all know his last tweet was when LeBron passed him in points, and he said, keep moving the game forward, or something along those lines, right? I don't remember the exact quote. But Kobe was about moving the game forward. Bam even said it himself. They was like, what do you think Kobe would tell you? And Bam responded, Kobe would say, go do it again. So for all you Kobe fans, relax. This is what Kobe wanted. Kobe might not even like the way it went down. I'll be honest with you. He might not even like the way it went down, but I do think Kobe would have been happy at the end of the day to see Bam get 83 points. So as I mentioned in the beginning, I had a feeling 83 would be matched one day. I just had the person wrong. So now the question becomes, now that we've seen 83 done in modern NBA, who's going to be the one to do it? I wonder who will be the one. All right, so first of all, I got to say the reason why I didn't think it would be Bam. I mean, self-explanatory. But, again, nothing against Bam. He's just never been if you think of Bam Adebayo, you don't think score. Like, I might have even thought Steph Curry. I definitely thought Steph Curry would be the one. I definitely thought Steph Curry might get close one day because of the way he lights up from three. That's honestly what I thought. Look at Klay Thompson. He had 34 points in one quarter. Again, with the way those guys get hot, I'm like, all it takes is one game for them to really, not miss, and it's on and popping. With the Kevin Durant, maybe not so much now because KD and Steph are older, but I would have thought it would have been one of those two. Now we got the younger guys coming in. You got Anthony Edwards, who is a scorer. Anthony Edwards is a trash talker. Anthony Edwards is a guy that's like, oh, I'm about to go do that thing. I ain't going to let nobody outshow me. Victor Wembanyama is a cheat code. He is probably the most unstoppable player in the NBA right now. I think Victor Wembanyama might be able to do it. And let's look at the facts here. Wilt Chamberlain did it as a big man. Who's to say Victor Wembanyama won't do it as a big man? So you got to think about that as well. But I do think those are the two guys that come to mind. Anthony Edwards, Victor Wembanyama. I would love to see Cade Cunningham do it myself as a Pistons fan. But, anything can happen, right? You want to talk about unlikely games to happen? If you told me that one day somebody's going to break pass Kobe for points for 80, 81, if you had told me Bam Adebayo was going to be the one, I would have looked at you silly. Bam Adebayo was an unlikely candidate that did it. Look at all the 50-point NBA games we've seen in history. Terrence Ross has a 50-point game. Malachi Flynn has a 50-point game off the bench. You don't even know who Malachi Flynn is unless you watched the Pistons 3 years ago. So the point is, anything can happen in the NBA. We just don't know when. Bam's 83-point game, prime example of it. Simple as that, prime example. So we know we got to talk about Bam's girlfriend, A'ja Wilson, right? Y'all know I love A'ja Wilson as she's my favorite WNBA player. I think she's the best WNBA player of all time. I don't have too much more to say on A'ja Wilson, right? Other than she's great. So now the question becomes, does A'ja Wilson try to go for 84? A'ja Wilson did post on Threads last night. She did say, well, won't have the highest career high in the house anymore, but at least it gives me something to go after. So for those who don't know, A'ja Wilson does have the most points in WNBA history, which before last night, she outdid Bam Adebayo's career record, which I don't know the number off the top. I think it was 40 points, 40-something points. But A'ja Wilson has had a WNBA game where she went for 53, which is tied for the most WNBA points in a single game in history, right? She ties with Liz Cambage, her former teammate in Vegas, but they both have tied for 53 points in a game. Something else to keep in mind about A'ja's 53-point game. A'ja got subbed out. And I was upset about that because she could have easily broke the record instead of tied it. Everybody's joking about I feel bad for whatever team, is playing Asia and a night that Bam is in attendance because Asia's going off. And I've been saying it for years. So I'm going to sound like Brian, but my Twitter receipts confirm it. The year Asia had 53, I had said all year, I said, Asia's going for a 50-point game this year. I said, Asia's going for a 50-point game. And so when she got 50, I said, you might as well go get the record. Hey, time out. Kid you not. I'm really going to sound like Brian now. I swear. I promise you I'm going to sound like Brian. But it's the honest truth here. When I got the update saying Bam had 31 points in the first quarter, I kid you not, I said he could easily pass Kobe tonight. I was like, he's on pace to do it, right? I was like, he's on pace to pass Kobe. And then when I seen he had 43 at the end of the first half, I'm like, all right, he's not getting Wilt tonight. But he could get Kobe for sure. Because again, 30 times, if you do 34 times, you're getting Wilt. So I was like, he ain't going to get Wilt, but he could get Kobe. And again, when he had 43, I'm like, he's halfway there. And then when they got to the third quarter and he had 67, I'm like, he's 14 points away. You got to let him go get it. You got to let him go get it at this point. So I did sound like Brown in that aspect. But shout out Bam Adebayo. Hey, last thing I'm going to say, then I'm out. I met Bam Adebayo's mama at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis at WNBA Live, which is like the WNBA's convention during All-Star Weekend. So it was actually right after I met Asia Wilson. Bam was in the background somewhere. But fast forward in the story, it was Asia Wilson's mom and Bam Adebayo's mom walking. And I just casually went up to them like, how you doing? And I said, kid you not, I said, thank y'all for giving us some great basketball players to watch. And they was like, oh, thank you. Shout out Mama Adebayo, though, because we got to see 83 points, and I ain't never seen 83 points. Because ain't nobody has, because we ain't never seen Wilts. Thank you so much for checking out Buffed Up Sports. Go to buffedupsports.com for the latest episodes, my social media links, and ways to support the show. Please subscribe so you'll never miss the latest with Buffed Up Sports. And make sure you send Buffed Up Sports to your peoples so they can be entertained just like you. Now, just remember to spread love. Keep your chest out. Hold your head up. Show off them pretty teeth. Don't you worry about a thing. Until next time, y'all be good out there, and God bless you all. Peace.